Hi, this is Evan, and it's been a while since I posted a video about what's going on with my Achilles tendon recovery. And so to start off, I guess a few lessons have been learned. One is that after I got out of the boot and returned to the office and started to drive again, life got really busy. So I was not as disciplined about exercises as I was prior to that. But I've been doing a lot of walking. My job requires a lot of travel. And so I've been logging a lot of miles, and I think that's been mostly a good thing. Every once in a while, though, I'm reminded of the fact that if you push yourself too far, too fast, things get swollen and sore, so always bear that in mind. But by and large, things are going pretty well. I'm at 20 weeks, non-operative early weight bearing protocol, and things are going really well. So right now, I am able to walk almost normally. Depending on how you view this, you may view that as an exaggeration, but the big thing is that the tendon feels solid and has for the better part of the last 4 to 6 weeks. It's no longer what I call the sort of the limiting factor. The strength of the calf muscle is still a factor, and I still have some stiffness inside the foot. But in the big picture, relative to having just the way things were after just having ruptured the tendon, life is pretty darn good. So I'll show you sort of how the walk is looking right now, and a couple other things to provide an update. So hopefully this will help you guys. So as I mentioned, the tendon is no longer the limiting factor, but there is some stiffness in the foot. When I do a squat, this leg could go all the way down to here, but this one kind of stops right there before it gets really tight. And I feel that when I walk. So when I'm going forward, where this foot, I can bend it all the way down to here, and I've got a pretty strong calf to push off with. In the bad leg, the right one for me, it gets about right there and it's really tight. So what I have been doing, which is not good, is I've been sort of tightening up the calf, and because psychologically I feel like, well, if it gets tight, that's bad. I want to prevent that. So I've been tightening up the calf, and when I walk, kind of rolling off of it, not allowing it to flex as it should. But I just had physical therapy this morning, and my therapist reminded me that this is a psychological game as much as anything. So what I'm working on now is to allow it to flex and then push. So we'll see how that's doing. But by and large, starting to feel pretty normal again. For exercises, I'll show you what I'm doing on the stairs, but the big things are squats and really focusing on trying to be evenly distributed between the 2 feet and evenly distributed between the balls of the foot and the heel. Working on balance and strength in the calf and the leg, and heel lifts. So I do these on the stairs, and generally speaking, I try to do them whenever I go up or down the stairs, but usually try to target 3 sets of 50 each day. But this calf, as you can tell, is still needing to do some catching up relative to its neighbor. So I have a lot of leg lifts left to do. And I've noticed that hiking up hills tends to be a really good exercise for the calf. So I'm planning to start taking up hiking as a pastime. I am running, just started that last week, twice a week so far, and I think about 1 mile to 2 miles is about my limit for the time being, because there's a little bit of a recovery period after a run, because the bones inside my foot still aren't necessarily where they were prior to the injury, and so that I don't want to cause too much wear and tear inside the foot. Try to gradually get things back the way they were. So in order to help build up the strength in my calf, my therapist advised me to do, in addition to the 2-leg heel lifts, to do some alternating work. So, like so, hang off the back, come up on one, and alternate to remind your legs of this motion. And it seems to help. The other thing that is a bit of progress over how things were for a long time is how I walk down steps. For the longest time, when I was walking down steps, I could step down with my bad foot, and my good foot, could bend all day long. But stepping down with my good foot, I would get tight right there. And so I would place my foot forward so that it could just roll down and not ask too much of the tendon and the calf. But now, things are much better. So that's a milestone. And on the way up, I used to have to put my entire bad foot on the step instead of letting it hang off the step a little bit like you normally would. Place just the ball of your foot on, more of a normal walk up the steps. So now I actually have the calf strength and the ability to flex more, where I can go up the steps normally. It's the little things in life that mean so much. So that's how things are right now. At 20 weeks, I feel like I'm at a pretty good place. And some of the key takeaways I think so far are that early weight bearing works. Was walking on my injured foot at 2 weeks and was out of the boot at 8 weeks and feel pretty good here at 20. And I think that so far the non-surgical recovery option experiment is going pretty well. I have a colleague at work who had surgery to repair his ruptured Achilles about a year ago, and at his very first physical therapy appointment re-ruptured. And he took a non-surgical path to recover from that, and is doing really well, riding his bicycle to work, and feels pretty good about having gone the non-surgical path the second time. So I think that if you're struggling with making the decision right now because you just injured yourself and your doctor is either telling you that you have to have surgery because that's how he always does things, and that you're going to be in a cast for 3 months because that's just how we always do things, I think it's worth having him make the case for both of those because lately there's been a lot of evidence that not having surgery and putting weight on it early in a walking boot are both good things to strongly consider. So good luck with your own recovery, and keep with those exercises because I think that it is really important to have a good physical therapist advising you along the way, not letting you wimp out, but also making sure that you don't do too much, and to be really disciplined about your approach to your own exercises because you're not going to get that strength back spontaneously. You really have to work at it. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.